Hi. I never do these kind of video blogs, but I just don't feel like writing all this down. Um, I just got back from the vet. I took Buddy to the vet, as I said in the diary. He got his tail caught in the door last night. I was closing the door and he got it caught not on the end with the doorknob, but on the other side, and he screamed, and there was some blood, and it's about 2 inches up from the end of his tail. And he was crying and just howling at me last night, and I was trying to wipe it, and it wasn't gushing blood or anything. So, and he slept in here last night on the chair, and then he did go out sometime in the night because he can get outside. And I couldn't find him at first. I was a little worried, but then he was sitting on top of the car, and he came in and he ate a little. He threw up some grass, but he hasn't been to the vet since I got him, when I took him to get his shots and get him fixed when he was already fixed, So I called out there, and they couldn't get me in. I called another place, and they said come on down in a half hour, so I did. And he behaved himself on the table. I was really surprised. I thought he was going to fight more. He got a thermometer up his ass and his mouth checked. Some of his teeth are a little bad. His gums are a little inflamed. He's got some sort of swollenness in the back of his throat, which they told me what it was. I don't remember, but he said they can, that's not an emergency. They can do that later, where they put him out and clean his teeth and see if that clears up. He has tapeworms, which was showing in his butthole, which I certainly didn't know to look for. But, he hasn't been forever, and he needs all his shots and everything. So he's down there now, and they're going to cut off the end of the tail, sew it up and bandage it, and the doctor says either a bandage or the collar, the funnel thing, and I just don't think he would put up with that. He said the bandage will stand pretty tight. Here's the estimate of the bill. I used to think people who spent money on their cats like this were insane. And can you see all that? I got a $27 Yellow Page discount when I filled out the form. It said, where did you hear about us? And I said Yellow Pages, and that's probably something they do for everybody, for whatever you say. If you say word of mouth, they probably give you a word of mouth discount. $135 amputate the tail, anesthesia $108, $32 for instrumentary materials, and he's going to get the rabies shots, the leukemia booster, and they're going to check him for, I think they're going to do that now, check him for the cat AIDS or whatever it's called. Then he's going to get some medicine. They're going to put something, on his neck for the ringworm, because I told him when I put that flea stuff on, he'd fight so much. He said, well, we'll do that when he's out. So the ringworm just gets cleared up with something on his neck, and the mouth thing, will take him back for that. Anyway, I started crying like a little bitch when I was leaving. It was ridiculous. But, he hasn't been forever, and that, whatever. But I feel bad because I closed the door, but it was an accident. I don't know how his tail got caught in there, but it did, and that's that. And, his tail was kind of hanging down, and the doctor could tell just feeling it that, there was a disconnect there, and there's like 135 bones in the cattail. I saw that last night online. So anyway, I go pick him up in 3 hours, and he'll be all drugged and space boy, and that should be interesting. Anyway, it's too bad because I had a great weekend. Rob didn't come up. I got to keep looking at my watch here. No, I didn't set it because I think there's a 10-minute time limit on YouTube. All right, we'll try to do this real fast. Rob couldn't come up last Monday. The weather was so bad. We were having like gale force winds, and he called me in the afternoon. He was still in San Francisco, and he decided not to go up to Portland. So that would have been nice to see him. But Thursday, I went down to the museum on my lunch hour, and I went a different way than I usually do because I had to go downstairs anyway. I had to go pick up my art, and when I was coming out, I looked in the rearview mirror and I saw this interesting looking guy taking pictures. And he turned around, and it was my friend Tim, that I haven't seen in 10 years. I used to work with, and I stuck my head out the door, and I said, Tim, and oh my God. So we caught up a little bit, and we made plans for him to come over on the weekend. He's been to San Francisco, Los Angeles, Minneapolis. He was in the Army for 3 months. And now he lives in Portland. He's doing some kind of computer stuff up there. And anyway, Friday night, Tallboy came over. Maybe I'll insert a picture or two here. I'm enjoying the video editing more than typing lately. Tallboy came over, and I'm going to have a talk about some personal stuff, and that was good. And we went up to Winco and bought some food. He cooked me dinner. Cooked me a stir fry that was really good. And Saturday, Tim came over, and we hung out here. And I showed him like some of the videos, and we just caught up. And there's just things I can't even remember that we talked about, but just, you know, like we watched some of the same TV shows, and just our taste had just kept going the same, even though I haven't seen him for 10 years. And we went over to Arcata and had pizza at Live from New York. And then last night Dylan came over, and we went to Target. I had to get a space heater. My floor furnace is kind of not working all the time, and it's been getting cold. That's the original furnace in this house, so it's like 54 years old. And I think someone's going to come and look at it and say, you got to get rid of this thing. This is so ancient. But I have a space heater, and it cuts the chill, but it certainly doesn't warm the house up like the heater does. And after we went to Target, Gonzi restaurant is right there, the Chinese place, and I told Dylan that was good. He just pulled in there, so we went and had dinner, which was pretty good. And then yesterday we went back to Arcata, and we went to APD, Arcata Pizza and Deli, and we had Swiss and mushroom burgers, and which Dylan thought his was dry. He didn't like it, and I thought it was delicious, so go figure. Anyway, so it's been an interesting weekend. A lot of stuff going on. God, I was just crying. I mean, not bawling, but I mean, I had tears, and it's like, you know, come on, buddy, I'll see you soon. And anyway, I didn't give you the total, $630.40. Now, if I haven't done anything, he hasn't had anything done in 5 years, I should look at that as a good investment, right? I mean, whatever. You know, I know people pay a lot more for that, and I used to think, well, if something really serious happened to him and it was really expensive, he would just have to live with it, and, you know, whatever, you know. Right? Fuck it. It's Christmas. I'll be thrifty next year. Anyway, alright, well, I'm gonna just put this up, I think, because I just don't feel like typing all this out. And this would have been a long entry. So, and when Tallboy was here, we finally got the furnace on. I have to like stomp on it, you know, to get it on because the thermostat doesn't always work. He had these black shoes, and he'd gotten a little wet in the rain, so I thought he put them by the heater because we were in here looking at videos and stuff. And I started smelling something. I went and looked, and he had put his shoes right on top of the heater, and they melted. I mean, one of them got real crunchy, and the other one just kind of got warped. So he had some other boots in the car. He had to throw those away. It was ridiculous. But I have a picture of that, too. And anyway, so Buddy's going to have a tailectomy. Like they're going to cut that much off. But he just looks, and he was howling, and he scratched me, and he was just so, he was just hissing and howling like there was an enemy here, which I guess was me for touching him, but it was just very dramatic last night, and, you know, but he slept, and you know, he wasn't, like, dying or anything, but I just feel bad because I did it, but that's what happens when you have a long tail flopping around, right? Alright, I'm going to go load this up and see if I edit a little bit, and then I'll post it. So, thanks for listening. See you later. Bye.